Welcome to the Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest randomizer race between Freeland 1787 and Sathresh. I'm Frantic32, and with me is one of the top tier Castlevania 1 runners, SBD Wolf. How are you doing, Wolf?
Hi, I'm doing good. You know, I almost, when you started the introduction, I immediately got reminded that today is the 4th of July. Yeah, I'm not from the US, so to me the 4th of July is not a significant date, but man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's the 5th for you now, I think.
No, it is the 4th. It's still the 4th. It's the 4th for 4 minutes still. It is currently 11:56 p.m. in my time zone. Well, have we introduced our two racers, by the way? Freeland and Sathresh are going to be racing the CB2 Rando Seed.
Both are very good rando runners.
Yes, yeah. They're probably the top two best rando runners for CB2, actually. These two have probably played it the most. And yeah, go. Well, yeah, do you want me to give like a seed rundown or something?
Yeah, maybe a bit of a how it works. The randomizer kind of works.
The randomizer, this is going to be a standard seed with standard settings. So what that's going to mean is we're going to see random items in random locations. We're going to see random enemies, so it's going to be a bit of an randomizer as well. All the locations are going to be consistent. And heart drops are gonna be consistent, so that means that instead of having a 50-50 chance of either having a heart drop or not having a heart drop, you're always gonna have heart drops, so that's gonna be nice. And there's also another anti-frustration mechanic where when you game over, you only lose half your hearts instead of all your hearts, so that's also like meant to reduce farming time. You still lose all your experience. What else am I missing? Oh, health. Yeah, right, that's right. Enemies will have random health, basically. So like zombies may take, up from 2 hits up to 4 hits in the first down. Stuff along those lines. And I believe we've covered everything. To beat this game, you gotta have all 5 Dracula parts, you gotta have the red crystal, and you gotta have the magic cross. So we have 7 required progression items. To get the red crystal, which we found in the first check, that's really nice. You gotta basically go through 3 crystal tiers. It goes from white crystal to blue crystal to red crystal. Once you have the red crystal, that is the final progression that you need to do. Oak stake. Let's see what the third check has. This is looking like a pretty packed job. A whip. That's also nice for them. So, this is one of the most kind first. There are 3 checks in this town. And we got a white crystal and an oak stake, which immediately opens up Berkeley Mansion, which is technically like the first mansion we visit. Let's open it up for logic. I imagine both runners are immediately going to go there at this point, because they have a white crystal to go inside the mansion, and then we also have an oak stake to break the orb inside. That's going to allow me to get another item. So that's pretty easy for them. So we already see a divergence in routes, actually. Freeland is deciding to rush immediately to Berkeley and checking out what's there, while Sathresh is opting to farm instead to get those items. And yeah, I guess he's gonna also opt for the whip upgrade. Interesting is Freeland... Oh no, I guess he just went all the way to the bridge just to get a few hearts or check out the enemies. I don't know. I'm not too sure what the sense of that play was. He is very experienced though. I'm sure he had a reason to go all the way there. Maybe he was just trying to focus to enemies he could farm off of.
And we can definitely expect Freeland to most likely go out of logic.
Oh yeah. So this is standard logic, so that means that it's standard glitchless logic. But there are ways to get items in reverse order. So glitches may be used to access mansions early to check out if there's items they can get from there.
And to answer Kovalkin's question, you can't skip to red crystal. It has to be in progression.
Yeah.
From red to white to blue to red.
Yeah, the way you get items, the way it works is, so all the spots where technically in the game you'd have something like leather whip, chain whip, morning star, and flame whip. So all those 4 spots have been turned into a whip upgrade spot. So instead of it working like if you go to the Morningstar spot, you immediately jump from Morningstar regardless whether of what whip you're starting from. Well, that spot is now a whip upgrade, so it means that if you have Leather Whip, you're gonna get Thorn Whip, and if you have Chain Whip, you're gonna get Morningstar. So it just increases your level, and it's a one-time use thing. So there are 4 whip upgrades scattered throughout the game, and it doesn't matter in which order you get, any of those will just increase your whip level by 1. Once you get all 4, you have your upgraded whips. Same thing goes for the crystal, basically. You just have those 3 tiers, you find 3 spots to get those 3 upgrades, and if you have none, you get white crystal. If you have white crystal, you get blue crystal. If you have blue crystal, you get blue crystal. Okay, Freeland opting to get the whip immediately, which is going to help him for farming. I suppose Sathrish is going to do the same. And imagine they're going to try to farm for white crystal and the oak stake to get inside Berkeley.
Right. Looking like a very vanilla progression so far.
Yeah. There is a very spicy route you could technically go for. You could technically go to the left side. There's nothing in the game preventing you from doing so. It's just that it's filled with tough enemies and a swamp in the way, which deals a lot of damage and slows you down. So it's a tough area to go through, but there are checks to the left side as well. I don't think any of these guys will go there though, because they have the easy items to progress through the right side.
Another thing to note is no matter where the players are, if they hit select and then A and B at the same time, they will warp back to the original town of Jova. So it makes it so you don't have to walk all the way back, and it speeds things up a little bit for you.
Yeah, it was a mechanic that was coded into the randomizer just to speed up movement and also get out of soft lock areas. There are many ways to soft lock this game, believe it or not. And sometimes the only way out is just to soft select.
And it looks like Freeland's electing to head to Alba and Ondel to look for items as he's heading towards the left.
Oh, I see.
It looks like Sath will be heading directly to Berkeley Mansion.
Yeah, that was more the route I
expected
both to follow. I'm surprised by Freeland's move, but we'll see what he ends up doing with it. I wonder if he's gonna... Did he buy the oak stake? I didn't see...
I'd missed that. I'm wondering if maybe he's hoping Holy Water will be in one of the towns and the free checks.
I guess so, yeah. Holy Water is a very important item for this randomizer because there are many spots and checks that are locked behind Holy Water. So as soon as one of these 2 runners gets Holy Water, they immediately have, I don't know how many new checks, like 10?
Yeah, something like that. Pretty much it opens the entire game up for you.
So this random, I don't know if I can post links in chat, but there is a there is a website you can go for. It's cv2r.herokuapp.com. That's where you can go to generate a cv2 seed. I can? Okay, I'll just post it in chat then. Thank you. Here we go. Did Freeland see any? I missed the item that he obtained off of the free check. That check in Alba Town that he was just in is normally where you get the rifle installed. I didn't see what he got from here.
I missed it as well. I was trying to post the link at the same time.
High quality commentary, huh? Was Nail. Okay, thank you.
Nail.
Where would we be without people actually doing our job? Alright, Freeland is just charging towards Ondo, which is the westmost town, while Sathrish is going through Berkeley Mansion, as I expected.
Freeland will have another couple of checks to go for now that he has the nail.
Oh yeah, nail
on both sides of the map.
So many people I even say don't know this, but nail, which is one of Dracula's parts, which is part of progression, also has the secondary effect of when you equip it, it breaks blocks. So it acts kind of as a replacement for Holy Water. In some places, if you have vertical walls, you can use nails to just break them. Holy Water, though, is still required to access the floors. Basically, you cannot break them with nail. So Freeland's check was actually hard, which is really nice for him. That's another one of Dracula's spots, which is required to beat the game. And on top of that, On top of that heart is one of the items that allows you to access Prem's mansion, which is the mansion where you fight that. He's gonna have a total of, I believe, 3 checks in there.
Or if you count the merchant at the very end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 4 checks then. And he gets a crystal. Well, he doesn't have enough hearts to buy the crystal, but I fully expect Freeland to farm for it now. In that case...
Definitely want to get that, as it opens up Rover Mansion and another 2 items.
Yeah, because we have Blue Crystal with this. Statues are approaching the merchant. He finds an oak stake, which is... Well, I guess not that good for him right now, because he already has one. You cannot stack oak stakes in this game, unfortunately. But what I believe Sastre should probably do is he'll go and break the orb, check what's there, and then backtrack all the way to that vendor to buy another oak stake for the next mansion. Well, I guess he could also warp back to Jova and get it there. I don't know. Depends on what he wants to do next.
Berkeley contains the ring.
A ring inside Berkeley. Very good of him to go to this mansion ring and as another progression items. Oh yeah, I didn't see the clue that Freeland just got, but this game is filled with clue books that normally in game give you clues about how to progress. In the randomizer though, that has been changed to clues about item locations. So it's a really good thing for runners to do, to just go ahead and read one of those clues to get information as to where a specific item may be.
According to chat, the clue was laurels are available for sale in a certain location.
And that tells you the place to avoid.
Well, if you're going to go to Laruba, that is a helpful item, but hopefully you can find them for free elsewhere, as I believe there are 5 laurel locations.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. Yeah, Satur's like backtracking to get another oak stake, so... Next time, once we visit mansion, we're gonna have to find another one.
Freeland is continuing to farm to get his heart.
Yeah. Ooh, he still hadn't bought heart either. Let me see. Yeah, this was the dark place. So I guess he's gonna have to farm for both if he doesn't already have enough hearts. That is.
And for those who maybe haven't seen Randomizer for Simon's Quest, you will see probably a lot of deaths taken. It's not really a big deal unless you're low on hearts to buy items.
Yeah, and again, even if you game over, you do lose all your experience, but one of the things that the randomizer patches out is when you game over, you only lose half of your hearts instead of all your hearts, so it doesn't set you back nearly as much. It actually makes quite a big difference. Oh yeah, also, in case you saw Simon just kind of fall through floors at seemingly random, that's a trick within the game. It's called floor jump. It's a frame-perfect trick. You have to whip at the same time as you fall from a 2-block height. And you also have to have a specific subpixel value. And if all those conditions are met, you can just clip through floors. And that actually allows for quite a large number of skips, and even I believe a couple checks out of budget that could potentially do things to them.
ETAP brings up a good point. The villagers you see in towns are out at night, as well as the shops are open at night, unlike the vanilla game, where you have to wait until morning to purchase items from shops. So it makes things go a little faster for you as well.
Oh yeah, a lot faster. A lot faster. It's one of the main gripes people have about the main game is that night turns and then all of a sudden you have to wait 3 minutes just farming and doing nothing, hoping you don't game over, so that morning can turn again and you can buy what you actually need. But in this mod, you can literally just walk into shops at night and get your items that way. Freeland getting a level up. Level ups are permanent. You lose your experience, but when you level up, your experience gets reset to 0, and you have to, get a higher number to actually gain the level. So that's good for him. He gets that level up out of the way, and now if he game over, he basically doesn't lose any experience.
It looks like Statrush will be heading towards Algebra to do his free check from the crystal vendor at the top.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty natural move. He's already on this side, so might as well.
While it looks like Freeland will be heading towards Brahms to take on Death and collect his 4 items potentially.
Yep. Brian's mansion, well, it's kind of tough. It's supposed to be the 3rd mansion you visit in your playthrough, but he has a third whip already, so he shouldn't be able to start too much here. Enemies are gonna take a decent amount of hits, but not that much.
And Freeland is very used to being with Thorn Whip only.
Oh yeah.
And and very low level, so shouldn't be too much of a problem for him.
Yep.
The river on your way to that side.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the river is a lot tougher when you're heading towards the left side now. It does have random enemies, and sometimes you do need laurels in order to get past them if you're not equipped to take care of those enemies.
Yep, because one of the features of this mod is that all the enemies get randomized, and so that also means all the enemies that you find on your way during the boat ride, and that makes it basically a puzzle. Every time you get different enemies that you have to dodge in different ways. They're all always dodgeable in one way or another, but you just have to figure out what enemy you got exactly in which spot, and then figure out a plan around it.
Sathdresh just collected some laurels from the free check in Algebra, so that should help him, and did not cost him any hearts.
Did Sathdresh find the laurels?
Yes.
Freeland finding a whip, which is going to help him.
That should make Brahms a lot easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Chain Whip basically doubles your damage between Thorn Whip and Chain Whip. So all the enemies are basically gonna take half the hits. Sathdresh now heading towards the left side. I guess he really has no other choice, and he's gonna go through all the checks that Freeland went through as well. So Sathdresh is basically behind Freeland in terms of progression, but he did get the ring in Berkeley that Freeland is gonna have to go through. So it's still anyone's game. If Freeland just decides to not go through Berkeley, which is a pretty common play because there are only 2 checks, then he might struggle to find that final progression item he's gonna need. While Sathdresh is gonna have a pretty clear ahead of him. He's gonna find all the same items that Freeland found, and his natural choice is gonna basically need to go through ramps, which Freeland is going through right now. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Alright, a common play, especially for someone in the tier of Freeland, would be to go down to the graveyard and take a blob boost up to Laruba Mansion to get 4 checks cleared, especially since he has the Chain Whip. So that could be in his logic.
Yep.
Try
so that's
to get
like one of
what
the
he needs.
big. Go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the block boost is probably the biggest sequence skip in the entire game. It allows you to... So like there's a spot where you go down a cemetery that's supposed to be a dead end, but you can, in the vanilla game at least, use a blob to boost over that ledge. And it triggers a loading zone that doesn't exist, and it wrong warps you to a specific point in the map that is close to the last mansion. So you can basically skip... Well, you can't skip mansions, but like you can do the 5th mansion early, essentially. And so that, in a randomizer settings, it allows you to access mansions out of logic. Laruba Mansion in particular, it's a tough mansion. It's the last mansion in the game, so the enemies take the most hit to kill out of all the mansions. But it has a total of 4 checks, so it's kind of a gamble. But if those checks end up being worth it, then it works out, because from there you can even go take the path straight to the end of the game. Essentially, it sets you up very well for that.
What we just saw from Freeland was the skipping part of Death's Mansion by doing a floor drop and then a specific jump, 2 jumps that he did, and it warps you directly into Death's lair instead of having to go down and around.
You got a whip from the orb, And he got another crystal off of that, so looks like this mansion was in logic after all. Good thing he went to Brent's. I believe he has red crystal now.
Red crystal, so he'll likely be checking Laruba next.
I assume so, yeah. Red crystal opens up Laruba in logic because red crystal is the crystal that unlocks the ability to ride a tornado up to the couple final mansions of the game, essentially. So that opens up both Bodley Mansion and Laruba Mansion. Laruba Mansion being, I guess, probably the most natural choice because you go down to the graveyard and then you go straight to Laruba, which you can use to go take a straight path to Bodley to going out to the end of the game. While if you decided to ride the tornado instead, you'd have to go to Bodley, then to Laruba, and then backtrack to Bodley and go the other way. So it will be a shortcut essentially. Just go take the blood boost if he decides to go to that area. We know that Ring is in Berkeley Mansion, so I mean he will still have to go there somehow.
Right. And the clue Freeland just got is the dagger is in Laruba for sale. So that's something that Freeland will likely get because he can use it to crit Dracula at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
A very frame perfect trick that can be done, takes Dracula down almost immediately.
Dagger, well, it's kind of a useful weapon against all enemies, but its biggest use, yeah, it's against Dracula, which he used to kill him in 2 shots. It's actually a much easier trick to do on Dracula because you can turn it into a pixel trick, and it's a 2-pixel window. So all you have to do is to stand in a semi-precise position, and you have a bunch of time to set it up as well. So it makes for a very quick and painless kill. It's not really like that necessary either. Freeland already has a Morning Star, which will kill Dracula in 32 hits, I believe. So I mean, if he doesn't pick up the dagger, it's just gonna mean that he's gonna have a slightly longer Dracula fight. That's not gonna be the end of the world. Otherwise. Okay, I believe Freeland is farming for an oak stake right now.
I believe so.
I'm very curious as to what mansion he decides to tackle next. It's gonna be Berkeley, Rover. He's going to the right side, so I'd say there's a pretty good chance that he's going to Berkeley now. It's a smart play because he had White Crystal and Oak Stake at the beginning, at the very first town. So that's a pretty clear sign that Berkeley is likely in logic. So I'd say that's well, I mean, we know that it is in logic that is required to go through Berkeley, but either way, I mean, you know, he got a pretty good tapping, and I bet that's where he's going right now. Well, Sathresh is just going around Ondo to buy the same items that Freeland bought a few minutes ago.
And then after that, he should be heading to Brahms and will slightly catch up to Freeland, as he already has Berkeley clear, and now Freeland is heading towards Berkeley.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's kind of a race that's not very close, but it can change at any second.
Yeah. I'd say if Rover Mansion happens to be in logic, I'd say that Freeland has to beat right now, because if it is, Freeland is gonna be already very close to Rover, potentially deciding to check it, while Sathresh is gonna have to backtrack all the way over there after already being on the left side. He actually decided to warp and go leftward again. Yeah, I guess he's going to France. That's what it means. Yeah, Freeland is in fact taking on Berkeley right now, so he'll have a nice surprise in there. Oh yeah, Sathresh forgetting to equip the heart.
Yeah. And most likely he warped back because if you're on that left side, it won't let you use the heart to come back around.
Oh,
so
it does.
It does. Does it?
Yeah, it does. It's just that I guess it's just fast. It was just fast for him because he was all the way on though.
You don't have to take the river on twice.
No. You can equip heart from the left side, and you have to take just one stroll around the river. So you go from left to right and then from right to left, all in one trip, essentially. So you can't just still access it from there. It's just, you know, It'll just happen for Sathresh for it to be faster, just in terms of travel time, for it to work back to Jova and then to Brams, rather than from Ondol to Brams. Yeah, so I suppose we already know what's gonna happen for these runners. They are both going to places that the other one has been to before, so they're just doing them in different orders, I guess. Both places having progression items as well, so the thing that decided to check them.
Spath will pick up his whip upgrade, and
oh yeah, you saw a glimpse of it. If you try to talk to him again, he says, "Nice try, Simon," and he doesn't give you the whip again.
The same thing with the crystals as well. It won't allow you to get it from the vendor twice.
Oh, Frian jumping out of a floor drop. Yeah, I guess he wants to check the clue. That's right.
If has a crystal,
I don't believe Sathresh got to check those clues. Ooh, you know, I think I might know why Frian decided to go left side first. So the thing about Berkeley Mansion is that there's a total of 3 clues, which is big. It basically, one of them will almost undoubtedly be useful for you. So if you don't have Holy Water or Nail to check them, it is a good idea to just delay Berkeley for later until you have something to check those clues. It's just really good for you to you know, take decisions that might be crucial for later on.
Right. Especially as if you get those items later in the game, the more likely you're going to get a clue for an item you've already grabbed. So if you can get Nail or Holy Water earlier, it helps you progress a lot easier, as you know where items are you need or items you don't need.
Yep. And yeah, just to remember, those were hints to Dracula's Riddle in the vanilla game, but the cool thing about this random is that it made it so that they are now clues to item locations, so that they've actually, you know, become useful.
And the Rib is in Veros, so may not have access, or he may, because there's 1 Nail door and 1 Holy Water door.
Yeah.
It may be worth him to go back and check over there before he heads to Rover, see if what he can collect.
There's also a chance that Holy Water might not be beaten, might not be needed to beat the game. It's the seeds that do that are rare, but they do exist. It's technically possible to beat the game without Holy Water.
Right. So there's a floor drop that you can do with the Nail that grants you access without having to break all the blocks to go in to the bottom of the castle.
Yep. It requires you to kind of stab at it, because the thing about these floor drops is that they require a sub-pixel value, and the way the RTA runners manipulate it is basically by using stairs to their advantage mostly, because stairs reset your sub-pixel, and then you just move around carefully because your actions will influence your sub-pixels in predictably consistent ways, as long as you don't whip in midair, essentially. So a lot of runners use setups like the ones Sathresh is using to touch stairs and then do specific movements from there to guarantee that they'll have a consistent sub-pixel position. But in Death Mansion, in Dracula's Castle, there are essentially no stairs that you can touch that are close to that floor drop spot. So you just kind of gotta keep trying at it until Magic Group gives it to you, which might take, you know, anywhere from 1 try to 50 tries, essentially.
And the Veros check was Garlic for the Nail, so Holy Water will be required for this seed.
Exactly. The good thing, though, is that Garlic does open up 2 checks, though. It opens up a check east of, what's his face?
Algebra,
yeah. And
also the Graveyard Duck between Alba and Ondol.
Yeah. We call it Graveyard... Well, okay, so there's a story there is a hint, quote-unquote hint. So some of the NPCs in this game are supposed to lie to you in the vanilla game. And so one of the NPCs says that there's a graveyard dock that gives you an item or whatever. And there's no graveyard dock. It just doesn't exist. That was a lie. But we decided to make it a real thing in Randomizer. And so the garlic NPC in the graveyard is now... I hope you guys get to see it. Freeland is probably gonna check the... Yeah, we're gonna get to check the sacrifice spots right here. This one requires holy water or nail, and he has nail. Pathbridge does not get to check this one. So Freeland's left side play really paid off. Because he now has a lot more checks now that he's going back to Pride since he found nail. There was another garlic spot, which isn't that useful, but he has, I believe... maybe 0 new checks either. Actually, I think all the checks in Algebra require holy water or not nail.
Correct.
Right, okay. It was still good for him. You got to see an extra check as well as all the clues. He's going straight to Rover Mansion. Interesting. Yeah, he still has one thing he could have checked. There's the garlic NPC east of Algebra. And he just got the garlic.
May potentially be doing this first, and then he may do a what they call world wrap once he gets to Algebra, with a whip jump that takes you to a marsh that takes you directly to Laruba.
That would be smart. So, like, on Algebra, there is a 3-block height that you normally cannot jump over, and it's supposed to be at that end, but if you do a whip jump, which is where you jump and whip within the first 11 frames of your jump, it gives you a little bit of extra height on your jump, which allows you to actually get above those 3-block heights. And it allows you to essentially use the shortcut that you use from Laruba to Algebra Town in reverse. So that's another way to access the red crystal spots in advance, as well as, ideally, if you get lucky, get to the end of the game immediately, because the Dracula's castle is in the red crystal area. Freeland taking the scenic route, so there is a wrong warp in this mansion that you could do to get to the orb earlier, but you need holy water for it. Nail will not cut it. You actually need holy water.
Right.
So
he'll
go ahead.
Oh, he'll likely the orb item and then floor drop to go back and check what the vendor has.
Yeah. The vendor is right below the orb, so you can literally just full drop right on him from the orb spot. Cypress also going to Rover Mansion. Oh, actually no. Did I? Yeah, no, he's on a different area. Never mind. He's going to Varus. Those areas look alike. The one difference is that there's a swamp right here in the Varus area. Alright, let's see what's inside the orb. Eyeball.
So over is definitely required.
Freeland is just stabbing at it. Second try, that's nice.
Very nice. Get the
Unless you set it up, that's one floor job you can't set up. Garlic needed to get the magic cross. Look at that. Nice clue. Magic cross is one of the progression items, and he now knows that it's on one of the 2 garlic guys. So imagine what he's gonna do. Let's see if this is right. Diamond, okay. Yeah, he's exiting the mansion. So he is gonna do exactly what he said, Franking. He's gonna go back up through Algebra Town. He's gonna go to the right and see if the garlic vendor east of the Algebra is gonna be the one that has the magic cross, I guess. If not, he's gonna have to pass through Carmilla Cemetery. I do wonder though if he decides to go through Laruba or not immediately. Because he is still missing holy water, which we know is required. And Freeland knows is required, since he got the clue.
over. Oh, and Pesky Bird knocks Freeland down. That's one of the more frustrating aspects of the randomizer. You tend to get Medusa heads or eyeballs or birds right when you're on stairs.
Yeah, this is a game where if you're on stairs and you get hit on stairs, you get knocked all the way down. Actually, not many Castlevania titles do that. If you get hit on stairs, you stay on stairs. But this one decided they wanted to be different. Okay, Satur's checking the Garlic guy. It does have the Magic Cross, so Freeland is gonna be sad, essentially. Like, he just needs the Holy Water to get to get the rib that he knows is in Veros, and well, I guess the one thing that he's gonna have to do is probably just gonna have to clear through Aruba body, and there's a high chance that they finish the game from there. Satrash, meanwhile, is gonna have to still go through Rover, which we know is in Logic. He's gonna have to find... No, he has Nail now, doesn't he? So I guess he can check the same things that Freeland got to check. I don't know, this might be closer than I thought.
And Freeland was able to pick up some more laurels, so it's pretty likely he does a world wrap right to Laruba, as he'll be able to get through that marsh fairly easily with 4 laurels.
Yeah, I think so as well. He still needs to find Holy Water again, but the only other option he has is the one Garlic guy in Carmilla Cemetery, compared to the... How many checks? 4 in Laruba, 1 on the way from Laruba to Bodley, 2 more in Bodley, and 1 in Doina.
Doina's.
Yeah, so many more checks here on the right side. It's a very
total 7 checks, which is more than likely going to yield something necessary. South, meanwhile, is making his way through Laruba to grab his next progression item.
He took a little bit of a swim earlier. Seth loves his summons swimming.
Laruba for Freeland should be fairly easy, considering he has the Morningstar Whip.
Yep.
Available. Sometimes you have to get there with a Thorn Whip, and it's much harder as the enemies are very powerful. I believe most powerful in the game.
Yep. Well, definitely most powerful for Dimension. Yes, there are tougher enemies towards Dracula's castle, but these are the toughest enemies you'll ever find inside Dimension. I've also done this with the Leather Whip. It's not fun.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I've had a seed where I decided to fight Carmilla with the Leather Whip, and it took, I think, 5 tries and 15 minutes or so, and she had nothing.
Right, because I believe with the Leather Whip, it takes 200 and some odd hits to kill her.
Yeah, 240 hits. And you have a whip that is the size of a butter knife. And that hurts less than a butter knife, to be honest.
Lynn now coming up on his first check with the vendor.
Yeah, we'll see what it has.
And there's a stair enemy. So he's going to skip that check for now and hoping he gets something to help him with that.
Yeah, because there's a risk in checking the vendors first. If they happen to have oak stakes, then it's just kind of a wasted time. Because...
Holy Water. And he's going to immediately go back and...
away immediately, yeah. He just wants to get ribbed now. Huh. Not
most
even
likely
checking the rest of it.
Most likely because it makes the Carmilla fight a lot easier, even though he does have the Morningstar.
Well, no. Holy Water does nothing against Carmilla.
I mean, going back to get the rib.
Oh, yeah, well... I mean, you can do the same fight just by dodging fireballs. You don't need rib. Very interesting. I wonder if it's just gonna decide to skip Carmilla entirely.
Actually, I believe that might be his last check. His last required item.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Let's see. He has Red Crystal, he has Magic Cross, he has Eyeball. Eyeball. Yeah, he has Eyeball, he has Ring, he has Nail. Okay, what the other one was? Heart. Yeah, no, that's the last.
Yeah, that's it.
Check. Yeah.
He will go to Veros, collect the rib, and he'll head immediately to Dracula.
Nicely spotted. Yeah, looks like it's about to be go mode for Freeland. He just needs this one rib that he has in Veros. You know,
likely be a sub 50 seed for Freeland.
I guess it is. Wow. He had a pretty clean play, I have to say. Like, he barely had to backtrack at all, beyond the required.
It was very smart to go check the left side with Alba and Ondol first.
Yeah, it really paid off. Despite, because you'd think the natural play is to get, you know, once you get White Crystal and you get Oak Stake, you immediately think Berkeley is probably required, but he decided to go left side first, and he was able to find the nail in there, as well as another crystal, which allowed him to check clues, essentially, which Satrush did not get to do, and Freeland was essentially much clearer, had a much clearer idea on where to go, essentially. Freeland, I don't believe Satrush knows yet where Red is. Meanwhile, Freeland is already geared up, essentially. He's just gonna have to go ready Red Crystal, essentially. That's the fastest way to beat the game. He's just trying to get to Dracula's Castle now.
And Freeland is definitely one of the smartest minds in Rando. He's very good at routing and making decisions.
Yeah, he's played this one a lot, and he knows what he's doing. So does Satrush too.
Right. Over to
also going towards the Laruba.
First try.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a tough jump because you need to jump at the very edge to reach it. Actually, Satrush is not badly put either. He, let's see, he checked Brahms, he checked both Berkeley and Rover. So I believe he's in a similar situation as Freeland is. He just needs to find Holy Water just to get ribbed, I think. The only thing is that Freeland did that with less backtracking, essentially. That's why he's further ahead of him. Not even that by that much, just like 5 minutes, probably, worth of time. Also, Satrush... Yeah, Satrush, as I said earlier, Satrush doesn't know where Rib is, so he's not gonna have the same luxury that Freeland had to immediately know to warp out of Laruba as soon as he got Holy Water. We might see Satrush just do a full clear of Laruba, and then continue on to Butley towards Dona, towards hopefully finding the one item he needs to finish the game, which is gonna be a waste of time, unfortunately. We know where Rib is, and it's not anywhere near those places.
Right, and that's why clues tend to be so important in Randomizer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It eliminates all that backtracking. Just finished taking the tornado. Gonna make his way through Doina and down to Castlevania. Looking like maybe a 46.
Yeah, approximately. very curious though if Sastrash does, you know, decide to continue and do full clear of Laruba, what we'll find here. We still, I don't think we've seen many Laurel spots, which are the most like, you know, unless you don't have Laurels yet, in which case, you know, they help you traverse through swamps. But in general, they're just like a nothing spot. We also haven't seen the final whip upgrade from either player. What else do we have missing? We know where both garlic spots are. We haven't found many sub-weapons. We don't have the Silver Knight, we have Golden Dagger. We haven't seen Sacred Flame. Yeah, Dagger is in Laruba. There we go. We already knew that actually from one of Freeland's checks. It was on sale. Dagger was on sale in Laruba. Satrish is about to find holy water, I guess.
Holy water? No. Fortunately, the Medusa's kinda... Go ahead.
They continue though, I mean, he's gonna despawn the Medusa head, so that's fine.
It looks like he will continue to clear Laruba.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, Sathrush does not know that Rib is in Veros. Which was the one thing that Freeland had the luxury of knowing, so he immediately just warped out of Laruba as soon as he found Holy Water. Sathrush, on the other hand, does not know that he has to use that Holy Water to break the blocks in Veros and get that item there. He's gonna try. The smart play in his situation will be to rely on the how many checks? Like 5 left from here to the end of the game, and hope that one of those is Rib, which is highly likely to be the case, but unfortunately, it's not the case of this.
Looks like Carmilla had more laurels.
Yep.
I don't believe he had an oak stake unless I missed him checking the orb.
Me neither.
Dracula's Castle, and we'll see some floor drops here from Freeland, save a little bit of time.
Let's see if he gets the quad drop. It's probably one of the toughest tricks in the game to do four floor drops in a row. He gets
2 of them.
One cool property about those floor drops is some of them are during lag frames. So you essentially can turn... They're all frame perfect normally within the game's logic, but lag can turn them into 2 or 3 frame windows even sometimes. So the second and the fourth floor drops are 2 frame windows, while the third one is the frame perfect one, which is the one he missed.
Set weapons are really no need for them.
Yeah.
Could have gone for the holy water crit, but that whip strat is a lot faster. Looks like Freeland finished at about 46-40.
It's a nice time for a random. I believe my fastest time is like a 54 or something, and that was with a good seed. Freeland had some mandatory backtracking on him, so that's very nice.
I think
I
I've
don't
only
believe, by
gotten...
the way... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to mention, I think I've only gotten sub-hour once. How difficult it is if you aren't used to doing this kind of routing. It takes a lot of time to learn.
Yeah. I don't believe, by the way, killing Dracula with the Morningstar is faster than using the Holy Water crit. It might still be slightly faster to get those crits with the Holy Water, but the problem is they are both frame perfect, and if you're late on the crit, you die.
Right.
So they have quite a high degree of risk for a minimal time save when Freeland already kind of knew that he was on a good pace. So no real reason to take that risk. Yeah, as expected, Sathrush is going east, hoping to find the Rip, which again is the smart play in his situation because he has a higher chance of finding stuff with 6. How many checks again? Like 3 checks compared to 1.
He has 4 checks total.
Yeah, let's say 4. You're right.
And with Merchant, checks in Bodley and Doina.
Yeah, right. That's
Crit
cool.
Flame.
Unfortunately, we know that Rib is not in these spots.
Yeah.
It's a smart play for him, but unfortunately, he's in a situation where he didn't see the clue in Berkeley that told him where Rib was.
Right, you do have to play the odds, but it's not necessarily going to.
Oh, Sephiroth skipping Butley. I guess, yeah, he still doesn't have an Oak Stick, so... There'll be one check in there. He's just hoping that it's Endoina.
If it's not Endoina, hopefully he just warps back and does his checks in Varos.
Yeah, hopefully. Because the Merchant in Butley is even pretty far
It's
out
a lot
of
of
the way
time.
inside the mansion. I think still the smartest play for him will be to check the one in Butley because it's the closest one. So, you could
Right.
gamble on it being there, which will result in the fastest outcome if Rib was there. Unfortunately, we know that Rip is not there. Well, let's see what this merchant has then. Laurels. Yeah,
Looks like
definitely.
maybe.
Yeah,
Hang
he's
up
going
to
back to
Bodley.
Bodley. I have an Oak Stick either. Oh yeah, also the ending text is a bit different. I believe the only text that's been changed is the one for the best ending. Where there's a reference to Simon going on a Dona PR tour. If you ever played this game, you'll know that in Donut Town, which is the town that Sephiroth just got out of, the NPCs are a little bit mean to Simon. They make reference about him being worried about, about not coming, how he shouldn't ever come back there again, and how bad, how much of a douche he is. So yeah, we get the ending where Simon goes on a PR tour.
Sath's gonna go pick up an Oak Steak.
Yeah, we'll see where he wants to go.
Maybe heading back to either Laruba or Bodley to check orbs.
Looks like Sephiroth is going leftward. Yeah. He's probably gonna try to do the blob boost, quote-unquote blob boost. Since this is an animizer as well, he's gonna have different enemies to boost off of, if he even can. But I
Balls are
suppose the
Medusa
smartest play
heads.
Yep, sorry?
Oh, anything like eyeballs or Medusa heads or werewolves
Oh, yeah.
will be good for boosting down there.
A lot of enemies actually allow you to boost off of there. All you need to do is do a whip jump and then take a damage boost at near the peak of your jump, essentially. And a lot of enemies allow you to do that. Blobs happen to be the worst one that you can technically do it off of, and it's the one that we have to deal with in the vanilla run. Because all the other enemies are essentially consistent. You can consistently manipulate them to give you good patterns for you to boost off of them, but blobs have randomness.
Right.
So, there's actually a pretty decent chance that you'll get that you won't get a good bounce quickly enough to boost off of there before your health bar depletes completely. Yes, that Thresh, I believe he found the silver knife, which wasn't much of use for him. We'll see what he decides to do from here. Yeah, and just keep going left. Imagining he wants to go to the graveyard.
Draw on Dole.
I believe he's already checked everything in Ondol. The one thing he hasn't checked is the graveyard dock.
Oh, that's correct, yeah.
He's going there. At least you guys will get to see the graveyard dock, which has been modded in the randomizer. We'll see what it has, at least. Probably more laurels.
Oak Steak.
Oh yeah, that's right. There are a bunch of those checks left. He might try to boost. There are bats that he could potentially use. Yeah, looks like that's his plan. He's gonna try to lure a bat all the way to the left and try to use that to boost above the ledge. Is he?
Maybe not.
I really thought that was what it was doing. No, yeah, he's backtracking. Apparently.
He may go ahead and opt to use the tornado instead of trying to do the boost off the bats.
I guess, yeah, he might try to rely on it being in Bodley. Because he still hasn't checked it. He still hasn't even checked the merchant in it. Has he?
Oh, he hasn't. He skipped Bodley completely.
Yeah. So he has 2 checks there compared to the 1 that he has left in the group. That would be smart. Unfortunately, we also know that the rib isn't there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Veros may be one of the last checks he goes for.
Yeah. There are 3 checks eastward as well for him, because I don't believe he ever checked anything with Holy Water, neither in Veros nor in Algebra. So there would have been 3 checks for him to do, and then he could have tried to do the Cemetery Wood jump to get to Aruba that way. That could have been another play for him. But then again, that would have meant that he would have had to skip the graveyard dock. So you know, it's a trade-off. Yeah, looks like he's taking the tornado. He's gonna try to check Bodley, I guess. And if it's not in Bodley, I highly expect him to go east at that point. To Algebra and Veros, and he's probably gonna find the rib there. Alright, it's gonna be interesting to see what we see in Bodley. We have, I think, a few Laurel spots left, maybe some Oak Steaks, a whip upgrade. Ooh, Setrush! So for those who have good eye, you might have seen Setrush just kinda like boost through that that screen in Bodley. That was a dash jump, essentially. There are some platforms that it's the moving platforms, essentially, that you can let go of right or left, depending on the direction you're going in, and then jump the frame after. And that gives you a dash jump, which gives you higher speed. The other place in the game where you can do it off of, instead of other than moving platforms, is right after the tornado, which I believe is frame perfect.
Which I've never actually seen it done out of the tornado.
Yeah.
That was a new one for me.
Seth tried to... Unfortunately, he ruined the sub-pixel by whip jumping that Spear Knight. But he's gonna try to floor drop there, which makes it for a faster way to the Merchant.
He'll reset his sub-pixel and give another shot.
Spear Knight is gone. Should have it now. Oh, but he took knockback.
And he
That's
got
another
it.
way you can lose your sub-pixel, unfortunately. Oh, he still got it. Nice. Oh, the double sword. Yeah. That's the thing that Freeland is mentioning in chat is a thing I found, actually. There's a spot here in Botany Mansion where you can... let's see, you can do a double floor drop and do a screen wrap off of it. A jump into a screen wrap to access the Merchant. It is a little bit basically above what Satrush went. You have to still go through a portion of the screen, but then you skip all this going to the right, and it is slightly faster. And it technically allows you to access that Merchant without having Holy Water or Nail break blocks. So that's one of the examples where floor drops allow you to check items out of logic. It's not really very much used though, because you know you have to go for a double floor drop. And if you fail that double floor drop, you have to basically spend a minute trying to get back into position. Okay, better check the Merchant. It's gonna go towards the orb, hoping to find something there. I don't believe that Merchant is even in glitch logic, simply because of how tedious it was. I believe, even though it technically is something you can check with glitches, it has been not included in glitch logic. So yeah, he finds Laurels. He will,
Would it be in would it be in the Diamond Warp logic? That Merchant?
Oh yeah. I think so. Yeah, as soon as you have Diamond and Magic Cross, you can access Body Dimension. This is not a Diamond Warp set though.
Right.
Diamond. Okay, Diamond logic is another kind of logic you can play in this game. It makes use of an area that is otherwise largely unused. There's a section in the Red Crystal area that leads to a dead end. You have to go through 3 screens to go to that dead end, and it's an area with an entirely different color palette and something. It really feels like an area that would have been used for something, but it's not. It's just a dead end. And so to compensate, there's this so-called Diamond Warp logic, where if you have the Diamond sub-weapon and the Magic Cross, I believe you can equip it, and when you start, when you up an A to warp, it's not going to take you to Jova, it's going to take you to that area, and it allows you to essentially visit the Red Crystal areas early. This is not a Diamond Warp logic though, see? That one does not do nothing currently. In terms of warping, it's just a normal sub-weapon. Okay, looks like Satrush is going to Varus. This is where the rib is. And I believe
basically, Diamond Warp logic was created just to make use of the diamond. It was talked about by several runners as well as the creator, Blood, Sweat, and Code. And they wanted to make the diamond something people would actually want to go for, so they adopted the Diamond Warp logic.
Yeah, as well as making use of that secret area. The diamond, I actually like using diamond sometimes, because in this game it really feels like if you don't have a lopping weapon that goes down, you might have trouble against certain enemies and have to take considerable slowdowns. And the only weapons that lop down are Holy Water, which deals 1 HP, so nothing against stronger enemies, and then you have Diamond and Sacred Flame. So I love using those 2 weapons when I don't have anything else, essentially. Anyway, Satrush is in Go mode, finally, and he's probably gonna try to ride the Tornado and go towards the end of the game. We'll probably see some sub 110 time for him. So the only thing I think we haven't seen... Oh no, three things. We haven't seen what the Laruba orb had. We haven't seen what either of the two, all the other spots in Algebra had. One of them had to be the final whip upgrade. There's another whip upgrade over what Freeland and Sapfresh got in this run. Both the two runners had Morningstar, and the final upgrade is Flame Whip, which sets your whip on fire, and it deals that. It deals. Okay, quick little curiosity about the Flame Whip. So every single Flame Whip progression doubles your damage. So Leather Whip does 1, Thorn Whip does 2, Chain Whip does 4, and Morningstar does 8. Except the Flame Whip. The Flame Whip does 15, not 16. Which is very interesting. It essentially means that there are some enemies in the end game that have 16 HP, and the Flame Whip would otherwise one-shot them if it's followed the standard, you know, doubling of damage logic, but instead it leaves them with 1 HP, which is pretty silly. But that's how it works. But yeah, we haven't seen that whip. That whip. So it was probably one of the. It was definitely one of the spots the runners missed. There is close to the Red Tornado. All they have to do is it's gonna be right in front of Bot Dimension, and then after that, it's just gonna have to go through Doina, and then through like a few other screens all the way to Yomi Town, which is the last town before Dracula's Castle. Yeah, around 4 or 5 minutes, essentially.
This is probably a good time to mention to make sure you guys follow both of our runners. Both are great Castlevania runners, as well as other retro games. Definitely worth a follow.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Freeland plays a lot of Castlevania. I think lately he's been into Castlevania 1, I think.
Lately he'd been doing Castlevania 3, I believe.
I see.
And Sapthresh has actually been running low on NES for world record.
Yep. He already has the world record. He's just
oh, he got it.
Yep. I believe he got world record like 3 times now.
Wow, that's great. G to Sapthresh.
These final few enemies. Oh, yeah. So projectile speed. Projectile speed is a function based on the current area you're on. So while you saw some of these enemies have relatively slow speed on their fireballs, towards these final few areas, it's not even a thing of the randomizer. It's just a game mechanic. That's how the game is coded. So if you put a spider in one of the final areas, their webs are gonna be super lightning fast. That's what you're seeing here, essentially. You actually don't see spiders this late, but you can see thanks to the randomizer, thanks to the power of the randomizer, just how fast their webs can potentially be. Oh yeah, also worth noting, I don't think we've ever mentioned, enemies inside towns are not randomized. If you are there at night, you will always found zombies and birds in the same spots. Just makes for easier farming. After it's taking a game over, that doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't need experience nor hearts anymore.
And the graveyard is a good place to take a quick death if you're getting low on health before you go into Dracula.
Yep. Oh yeah, there are ways to take quick deaths in this game. You can floor jump into a water pond, or you can crouch on a 1 block height, basically 1 block height next to the bottom part of the screen, and it kind of looks like a bit of a glitchy death, which is what happened there. And that's up being a quicker death, essentially. It skips a bit of the animation. Saves a decent bit of time, actually, like 3 or 4 seconds for death. Because essentially wrap to the bottom part of the screen, and it immediately goes to the continuous screen.
That looks like he's gonna go for the floor drop here.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets the quad drop. This one saves around 15 seconds. Pretty big.
Only one, unfortunately.
One floor drop loses time if you spend time setting up, but it's always worth trying, really. Ooh, he's going for the spicy triple drop. Let's see if he gets it. This one only saves a few seconds as a backup. He got a double.
As well try for the swag.
Yeah.
Gonna move on after 2 tries and stop Dracula.
Yep. He has dagger too.
Dagger crit.
Yeah, he's going for the dagger kill, so you get to see it. So some sub weapons, most sub weapons actually, have their end frame glitched to where they crit enemies. They deal 185 HP of damage, and that's the case of the dagger, as well as the holy water. So you get to see here, you get into a 2 pixel window, right there. Jump whip and then throw a dagger 2 times. And as long as in the correct position, that kills him. There we go. GG. That was a 110 coming from Sathrash. That was a 46-47 from Freeland. Actually, they weren't that far behind. Unfortunately, the one thing that made the difference was the one clue that Freeland got. Freeland got to know immediately where Rib was. And so as soon as he got Holy Water, he immediately knew to just warp out on Laruba and go get it. While Sathrash did not have that clue, and he did the smartest play from his situation, but unfortunately didn't pay off. It was in the one unlikely spot, essentially. And Freeland knew about it thanks to the clue, but Sathrash did not. Freeland also got to skip a lot of backtracking thanks to going to left sides first. So this is a pretty good showcase of how much of a difference it can make in a randomizer. Just taking a couple different decisions, essentially. I'd say the one clue that Freeland got to check made for about a 20 minutes difference or so.
And your routing is so important if you want to get into any sort of randomizer, not even just this one.
Yep.
Less backtracking you can do, better for you.
It absolutely is.
Right.
Oh yeah, the one cool thing about the randomizer, it also gives you stats at the end, so you get to see all your deaths, hearts, etc. Oh yeah, Sathrash is saying he actually kind of thought about warping out after getting Holy Water, but he decided to keep going through Laruba, which I'd say was smarter. He just didn't have the clue that told him where Rib was. Yeah, I believe we're done, unless we're gonna have runners for a post-interview or something. I do believe we have covered every base. Otherwise, okay. I believe that wraps up for CV2. Yeah, thank you all for watching.
Have a happy and safe 4th of July. G once again to Freeland 1787 and South Dresh. Please make sure you give them a follow. All right. And everyone have a good evening.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you all for watching.